Welcome to Unsealed Evidence. I'm Sable. This part of the affidavit is one of the hardest to talk about, because it breaks down what investigators say each individual allegedly admitted, denied, changed, or contradicted during questioning. This isn't about guilt. This isn't about conclusions. This is simply the affidavit's own account. Nothing added, nothing assumed. If you're unfamiliar with the Rebecca Park case, you can read the full case breakdown at www.unsealedevidence.com. Let's unseal this. Trigger warning. This section involves disturbing allegations, shifting confessions, mentions of violence, handling of remains, and emotionally heavy statements. Please take care of your heart before continuing. This part of the affidavit isn't clean. It isn't simple. It isn't consistent. It is a tangled, painful, chaotic set of statements where both individuals change their stories repeatedly, contradicting themselves, contradicting each other, and contradicting digital evidence. What follows is not the truth, only the affidavit's documentation of what investigators say they were told. Nothing here establishes guilt. This is merely the emotional and confusing landscape investigators were trying to navigate. What the affidavit says about Bradley's statements. According to the affidavit, Bradley's interviews were filled with shifting details. Investigators documented him admitting involvement at some points, then denying it later, then offering new explanations as the interviews progressed. In some statements, he allegedly described stabbing Rebecca. In others, he claimed Courtney did it. In later interviews, he said he didn't remember anything at all. There were moments where investigators say he described the baby as having already passed. Other times he claimed he never saw the baby. When confronted with evidence that didn't match his accounts, such as phone data or movement patterns, the affidavit says his story changed again. In some interviews, he allegedly admitted to cleaning or burning items. In others, he denied ever touching anything. The affidavit paints a picture of a man whose statements shifted dramatically depending on the moment, the evidence presented, or the direction of the questions. None of these statements are proven. They are simply what investigators documented. What the affidavit says about Courtney's statements. Courtney's interviews, according to investigators, were also full of contradictions. The affidavit notes she changed her story repeatedly, especially about whether she saw the alleged stabbing, whether she held Rebecca's head, and whether she assisted afterward. At times, she said she witnessed key moments. At other times, she said she had no idea what happened at all. Investigators documented that she often inserted Kimberly into the story, suggesting involvement, hinting at knowledge, or attempting to shift focus. Each time investigators challenged these claims, her story changed again. The affidavit also says she gave conflicting accounts about the baby, sometimes describing seeing him, sometimes claiming she never touched him, then later offering details about him being moved or placed somewhere. Her involvement in cleanup efforts also shifted. At times, she allegedly admitted to burning items or helping clean the truck. In other interviews, she insisted she had no part in anything and blamed Bradley entirely. The affidavit underscores just how dramatically her statements changed from one moment to the next, where their stories overlap, even when they contradict everything else. Despite the chaos, investigators documented a few heartbreaking common threads. They both placed themselves with Rebecca on November 3rd. They both placed her in the truck. They both described her becoming unresponsive. They both acknowledged that she never made it home. They both described actions taken afterward that involved burning, cleaning, discarding, or moving items connected to what investigators believed happened. But even within those shared themes, the details never matched. Who did what? Who cleaned what? Who moved what? Who touched what? Who held the baby? Who panicked? Who stayed calm? Who tried to blame whom? Every version fell apart the moment investigators asked for specifics, where their stories completely collapse. The affidavit shows a consistent pattern. When investigators presented evidence, phone logs, location data, inconsistencies, or physical discoveries, both individuals changed their stories. Not once, but repeatedly. sometimes within minutes, sometimes mid-sentence. These collapses didn't reveal truth. They revealed fear, confusion, avoidance, and an emotional storm investigators struggled to navigate. This section of the affidavit doesn't give us clarity. It gives us heartbreak. Because in all this noise, Rebecca's voice is the one missing. The emotional reality. This summary doesn't tell us who is guilty. It doesn't tell us what really happened inside that truck. It doesn't answer the agonizing questions Rebecca's family wakes up with every single day. It only tells us what the affidavit says investigators were told. A shattered collection of conflicting statements, a maze of contradictions. A story that falls apart no matter which direction you hold it. And the devastating truth beneath it all. Rebecca never made it home. Her baby never took a breath. And the full truth still hasn't been spoken. Everything in this post is taken from allegations documented in the affidavit, not proven facts. None of this establishes guilt. Every individual named is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Every case has missing pieces, and we're here to find them. Unsealed evidence digs into the documents, the timelines, the evidence they don't talk about. You can read every breakdown at unsealedevidence.com and follow us for updates, new findings, and deeper dives. We don't look away. We don't sugarcoat. We search until the truth shows itself. This is Unsealed Evidence.